All right, welcome to this explainer. Let me ask you a question. If you had just 90 days, literally 3 months, to build a strong, aesthetic, shonen anime physique, what exactly would you do? Well, today we're breaking down a complete step-by-step system to build that incredible protagonist physique. And get this, we're doing it right from the comfort of your living room, completely from scratch. I know, it sounds kind of impossible, right? Getting into the absolute best shape of your life in just 90 days? But honestly, look at characters like Toji Fushiguro or Sung Jinwoo. They represent this very specific aesthetic, super powerful, lean, and ridiculously agile. And here's the real secret. Getting there doesn't actually require spending half your life in a commercial gym. It just takes a dedicated, progressive approach using proven calisthenics and bodybuilding principles. So here's the absolute core of this whole thing. 0 weights from home. This is the 90-day Protagonist Method. You don't need a gym membership, and you don't need to sling heavy iron. It relies 100% on a structured system of body weight mastery. It's really all about using the resistance of your own body to literally force your muscles to adapt and grow. To make this work, we're going to structure your journey exactly like a protagonist's story arc. We kick things off with Phase 1, your Episode 1, then move into 2, the Awakening arc, push through 3, the Power-Up arc, and finish strong with 4, the Final Form arc. Let's dive right into the beginning. Section 1, your Episode 1. This is all about setting your baseline. You know, every insanely powerful main character has to start somewhere. Before they're out there unleashing their full strength and spamming domain expansions, they're just weak, timid normies who can't even use cursed energy yet. You really have to embrace your own starting point. To do that, you've got to formally log your Episode 1. Step 1, take a before picture. Step 2, log your max reps. And Step 3, get yourself a pull-up bar. I cannot stress that before picture enough. Seriously, when you're deep into this program and feeling totally stuck, looking back at that day 1 photo is going to give you the hard, visual proof of how far you've actually leveled up. Speaking of leveling up, you need to know your exact stats right out of the gate. Think of these as your Episode 1 power levels. How many push-ups can you bang out? Pull-ups, squats. Can you hold a wall handstand for 15 seconds? Logging all this gives you clean, totally quantifiable metrics. You just can't track your progress if you don't actually know your starting baseline. Now, the essential gear for this is actually surprisingly minimal. A basic door frame pull-up bar or maybe a freestanding dip station is the absolute bare minimum you need. But if you really want to unlock a whole new skill tree of calisthenics training, a set of gymnastics rings is easily the best upgrade you can get. They immediately unlock dips, rows, bicep curls, ring push-ups, the whole shebang. Parallettes are cool too, but totally optional. All right, moving on to Section 2, the Awakening arc, which covers days 1 to 30. This is your foundational month. It's meticulously designed to challenge you just enough to force growth, but without overwhelming you to the point where you just rage quit out of frustration. And for this arc, the number 5 is your absolute golden rule. Because to get that anime physique in 90 days, we have to optimize for volume. The most effective way to do that? A 5-day push-pull-legs split. You hit every muscle group twice a week, and you still get 2 full days of rest to recover. Or, catch up on some anime. You don't need any fancy, explosive moves just yet. Sticking to the foundational exercises for 6 to 12 reps is the secret sauce here. We're talking pull-up negatives, dead hangs for that grip strength, regular and pike push-ups, lunges, and bodyweight squats. As long as you stay in that rep range and push yourself to failure, you're building a rock-solid foundation. But listen, here's the biggest mental trap of the first 30 days. You've got the complainers, and you've got the excitables. Complainers basically act like NPCs. They start the journey, realize effort actually hurts a bit, and immediately start making excuses to skip workouts. On the flip side, excitables go incredibly hard every single day, hyping it up everywhere, but then they completely burn out the exact second their initial motivation drops. Your mission? Normalize the pain and the effort. Just show up every single day, whether you're feeling motivated or not. And that consistency is what brings us right into Section 3, the Power-Up arc, covering days 31 to 60. This is the midway point of the explainer, and I'll be honest with you, it's where 90% of people quit. It's time to drastically ramp up the difficulty and push dangerously close to your limits to force some true growth. The biggest game changer here is your nutrition. Back in the Awakening arc, because most beginners start out kind of skinny fat, the goal was actually a slight bulk, a 200 to 300 calorie surplus, hitting 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal weight to build that muscle. But now, in the Power-Up arc, we completely flip the script. You drop into a massive 500 to 700 calorie deficit, and you add 10,000 steps a day to strip away the fat and reveal the muscle underneath. Now, cutting is notoriously miserable, right? You're going to be hungry. But survival basically comes down to an 80-20 split. 80% whole foods, 20% whatever else. Bumping up your protein and dropping your carbs makes a world of difference, because protein is incredibly satiating. Whole, nutritionally dense foods will actually keep you full, making the absolute misery of a calorie deficit way, way easier to handle. While we're cutting fat, we also have to make the workouts harder than last time to accelerate muscle growth. We do this by going beyond plus ultra. The first technique here is the rep promise. This means taking whatever you think your max reps are, adding 2 to 5 extra reps on top of that, and committing to hitting that new number every single set. Even if you have to take 3 different breaks mid-set, you are forcing yourself past the mental barrier of what you thought was your absolute limit. The second beyond plus ultra technique is the body weight drop set. Basically, you take a really challenging exercise, and the exact second you finish your set, you move immediately into an easier variation, like dropping from standard pull-ups straight into pull-up negatives. This guarantees that every single working muscle fiber is totally exhausted, especially the fibers you'd normally just miss entirely. Surviving all of that brings us to Section 4, the final form arc, days 61 to 90. This is the final stage, the end game. This is where you push far, far beyond your own limits to truly master your physique and reach your peak potential. To match the absolutely soaring intensity of these final workouts, your diet has to become insanely strict. Welcome to the single-ingredient diet phase. You are cutting out processed foods completely, 100%. You're focusing entirely on single-ingredient, whole food goodness to fuel your body as perfectly as possible. And notice how the exercises have evolved too. We're now focusing on unilateral mastery, working in a heavy 3 to 6 rep range. We're talking archer push-ups, one-arm rows, archer pull-ups, pistol squats. These unilateral movements are incredible. They don't just build insanely dense strength, they actually go in and correct physical imbalances throughout your entire body. To get that crazy muscle-pumping final form workout, we bring all of these elements together into the ultimate combo. Check this out. You start step 1 with an advanced variation, let's say the archer pull-up. At step 2, you apply that rep promise to completely push past your max. Step 3, you transition immediately into a bodyweight prop set using an easier variation. And finally, step 4, you hold that very last rep for maximum time under tension. It is absolutely brutal, but man, it is so effective. Look, throughout these 90 days, there will be days you're going to want to quit. But I really want you to remember this quote from the source material. Motivation is as fleeting as Yamcha's life. Just show up every day. Motivation is a fantastic launchpad, for sure, but it is a terrible fuel source for a long journey. Pure, unadulterated discipline is what actually gets you across that finish line. An unbelievable physical transpiration is entirely possible right from your living room as long as you're willing to put in the structured, unrelenting work. So the only question left is, are you ready to log your episode 1? It's time to step into your main character energy, grab a pull-up bar, and begin your own protagonist journey today. Because honestly, if you knew your ultimate peak human form was only 90 days away, what's your excuse for remaining an NPC?